Episode 1. Prologue. Before time, before stars, before the first breath of mortals, there was only silence. In that silence stood three high beings, brothers born of war itself. Their presence shook the void, yet even their voices carried the weight of boredom, for even eternity can grow dull when nothing dares to oppose you. The first was Thar, god of war and destruction. His eyes burned like dying suns, and his voice rolled like thunder through the endless dark. He longed for ruin, for endless battles, for the thrill of power unchained. The second was Alien, god of war and creation. His form shimmered with radiant light, his tone calm yet sharp as a blade. He yearned to build, to forge, to give meaning to destruction. The third was Morvon, god of war and balance. His presence was shadow and flame entwined, his gaze steady and unyielding. He sought neither victory nor loss, only the eternal weight of equilibrium. They stood together in the void. Thar's voice broke the silence first.
How many eons has it been, brothers? We stand as gods in a void where nothing dares challenge us. My blade thirsts, yet the silence offers no war.
Alien turned, his radiance flickering gently.
You would burn endlessly if you could, but war without purpose is hollow, Thar. Creation must follow destruction, else even victory is meaningless.
Morvain gave a low chuckle, his tone dark and steady.
And if creation always follows destruction, we return here, to nothing. We are eternal, yet eternity itself has grown stale.
Then let us shatter it,
Thar roared. Let us carve meaning into the void.
No.
Alien replied, his light intensifying.
Not a weapon. A foundation. A seed that grows, changes, dies, and lives again.
Morvain's eyes glinted with shadow.
A cycle. Creation. Destruction. Balance. A reflection of us. But what vessel can bear the sum of our essence?
For the first time in eternity, the three pressed their hands together. Thar poured in his destructive fire. Alien wove his creative light. Morvain bound them with balance eternal. From their union was born a tome of infinite pages. Its cover shimmered between flame, light, and shadow. Pages turned themselves, writing new universes into being stars ignited. Worlds formed. Life began to stir. The gods beheld it and named it the Book of Creation. At last, Thar murmured, a grin tugging his lips.
Something worth fighting for.
Not fighting, brother.
Alien corrected softly.
Living. This book will weave countless realms, countless lives.
Morvain's tone was iron.
And we shall not rule them forever. We will pass the burden to another. A king, and beneath him elders, and beneath them gods. Let them quarrel, rise and fall. Our essence will flow through their struggles.
Thar's brow furrowed.
And us? What of we three?
Alien's answer was calm but resolute.
We step into the cycle ourselves. Reincarnation. To walk among creation, not above it.
Morvain's voice was final.
Yes, let us scatter our flames into the river of time. And when we return, perhaps war will no longer bore us.
The three gods laughed, their voices colliding like storms. That sound split the void, echoing across the newborn stars. They left the book to write its own laws. From its pages rose the Elder King, who forged the order of the multiverse. Beneath him came 6 elder gods, and beneath them, the rulers of many universes. And yet, even as the laws took root, the book whispered of a forbidden truth, a 13th universe unclaimed and untamed, a wound in creation itself, a place with no god, no guardian, only silence. And into that silence the cycle of fate would one day return. 100 billion years later, in a distant and unnamed universe, the palace of House Renzai gleamed with lantern light. Night had fallen softly over the lands, but within the chambers new cries pierced the silence, the voices of newborn life. Lady Ayame lay upon silken sheets, pale from exhaustion yet radiant with joy. Her arms trembled as they held the swaddled infants close, her eyes wet with tears that shimmered in the lantern glow.
Two sons.
She whispered, her voice weak but filled with wonder.
Kayan, look, they are perfect.
Lord Kayan Renzai, battle-hardened and broad-shouldered, leaned in, his steel-like gaze softening. The man who had shattered mountains with his fists now trembled as he brushed a strand of hair from Ayame's damp brow.
Yes,
He murmured, awe thick in his voice.
2 heirs. The blood of Renzai. Doubled.
His calloused hand hovered over the tiny faces.
Twins. The heavens grant twins only to mark a destiny that cannot be defied.
One child wriggled restlessly, his hair pale as silver, catching the lantern's light like spun moonfire. The other lay quieter, his hair dark as midnight, his breathing soft but steady.
Shiro.
Ayame whispered, kissing the silver-haired boy's brow.
And Shin.
She breathed, pressing her lips to the dark-haired child.
My flames, may you never be parted.
Kayan chuckled, though his eyes glistened faintly. He placed a broad hand gently across both their tiny chests.
Strong hearts,
He said with pride.
Shiro, fierce and radiant. Shin, silent and unyielding. The world will tremble before you both.
Ayame laughed softly.
You already dream of battle for them, husband. They are still but babies.
Warrior blood does not wait,
Kayan said with quiet conviction.
Even now I feel it. These boys will not be ordinary.
The servants bustled in with herbs and steaming cloths, but Kayan waved them away.
Leave us,
He ordered.
Tonight belongs to my family alone.
The chamber grew still. For the first time in many years, Kayan removed his armor, setting aside the mantle of Lord of Renzai. Tonight he was not the warlord who crushed enemies. He was a husband, a father. He sat beside Ayame on the bed, his massive frame dwarfing the room. The twins lay nestled in her arms, their tiny chests rising and falling. Shiro squirmed and wailed, demanding the world bow to his cries, while Shin gripped Ayame's finger with surprising strength, silent but unshakable. Kayan chuckled.
This one shouts like his father.
And this one,
Ayame said softly, glancing down at Shin.
quiet, but his presence, it feels different.
Her eyes lingered on the child as though the air bent subtly around him. Kayan's expression darkened slightly, though he forced a smile.
Strange, yes, but no matter. They are mine, my sons.
Ayame leaned her weary head on his shoulder.
Promise me, Kayan. Promise me we will protect them together.
His arm wrapped firmly around her, his jaw clenched, but his vow thundered in the room.
I swear it.
Peace did not last. Hours later, Kayan remained awake, the instincts of a warrior never silent. When the ground first trembled beneath the palace, his eyes snapped open. Boom! The sound came again, closer. Shouts echoed in the distance. Flames flickered at the windows. Kayan rose instantly.
Enemies.
He growled. Ayame stirred, panic in her eyes.
Kayan, what is it?
The answer came with a deafening crash. The walls shook violently as an explosion shattered stone and wood. Servants screamed beyond the doors. Kayan's aura ignited, blazing like fire around him.
They dare invade my home.
His face hardened to steel. Another blast struck. Ayame clutched the twins to her chest, sobbing.
Kayan, the children!
With a roar, Kayan raised his arm. summoning a shield of energy. A dome of molten light wrapped the chamber, shaking under the next volley of attacks.
Stay close to me.
Kaien commanded. His voice thundered over the chaos.
I'll protect you all.
Ayame's tears streaked her pale face as she kissed her sons.
Please, don't let them take my children.
Kaien's gaze softened for only a heartbeat as he looked back at them. He burned the sight into his memory. The fragile bodies, the future flames of his bloodline.
I will not fail you.
He vowed.
Not while I still breathe.
The night erupted in fire. Outside, the Renzai estate crumbled under waves of energy blasts. Dozens of warriors clad in dark armor stormed through the flames, shouting their allegiance. "Lord Kaien," one bellowed, "your enemies send their regards. Tonight, your house falls." Kaien's aura flared, his fists glowing like molten stone. With a furious cry, he met them head-on. His fists split the air. One blow shattered a man's ribs. Another crushed the ground, sending shockwaves that hurled enemies backward. His ultimate technique: bodies fell. Screams filled the estate. Dozens perished under his unstoppable might. Yet more kept coming, endless like a tide. Still Kaien fought. Still he struck. He was a storm of fists, fire, and fury. Inside the chamber, Ayame clutched Shiro and Shin, whispering lullabies through her tears, praying her husband would prevail. But fate was already shifting. Episode 3, The Siege of Flames. The night no longer carried peace. What had once been a house filled with lanterns and the quiet joy of 2 newborn sons now burned beneath a storm of fire. The proud Renzai estate groaned as stone cracked, tiles shattered, and pillars crumbled. The earth itself trembled under each incoming blast. From the shadows of the night descended an army clad in steel. Their armor bore the mark of an old enemy Kaien had crushed long ago, yet vengeance had rekindled their courage. Like vultures circling the dying, they swarmed upon the burning palace. Inside, Ayame, Myra to her husband, clutched both cribs as if her frail arms could shield them from war itself. Her eyes brimmed with tears.
Kaien!
Her voice broke into the chaos.
They'll break through!
Kaien stepped forward. The loose folds of his robe clung to his frame as his muscles tensed. His aura, once calm, now flared like a gathering storm. Turning to his wife, his gaze softened even as fire burned in his eyes.
Hold them close, Myra,
he said, voice steady as iron.
Protect their light. I will hold the darkness back.
She tried to speak, but the wall behind her burst open before the words left her lips. A warrior crashed through, his fist glowing with murderous intent. Kaien moved before breath could be drawn. His fist met the intruder's jaw with the force of a thunderclap. Bone shattered. The man flew backward, smashing through 3 pillars before his body dissolved into dust and silence. Kaien exhaled slowly, his knuckles still sparking with power.
You dare touch my family,
he said. Calm words, yet beneath them roared a fury older than empires. The ground quaked. Dozens more warriors descended, their boots slamming into the soil as they encircled the estate. At their head stood a man clad in crimson armor, eyes alight with cruel satisfaction. Kaien the Fist, the leader sneered. The retired lion finally bares his claws. Tonight your bloodline ends. Kaien's aura ignited, burning gold. Cracks spidered through the ground at his feet. He lifted his fists, wide stance unshaken.
Tonight,
he answered, his voice low and steady.
You learn why the lion still rules the wild.
And then he vanished. One heartbeat he was still. The next his fist buried itself into the leader's gut, the sound of impact ringing like a temple bell. Warriors rushed to surround him, but Kaien was already in motion. He unleashed his heaven-breaking fist, a storm of strikes so fast they blurred into afterimages. Each punch detonated like a cannon, each kick split the air like thunder. Bodies were flung aside, armor crumpled, walls gave way. Above, another wave of enemies gathered, hands raised, energy blasts forming in the sky. Kyan bent his knees, his aura condensed, fire spiraling into his right arm until it shone like molten gold.
You want to burn my home?
His voice shook the heavens.
Then taste the fire of my wrath, blazing lion cannon.
His palm thrust upward. From his hand roared a lion's head made of fire, its mane blazing, its jaws devouring the night sky. It swallowed the enemy blasts, then the warriors themselves, before bursting into a pillar of annihilation that lit the heavens like dawn. The earth quaked under the brilliance. Inside the nursery, Myra crouched over the cribs, shielding them with her body. "Stay safe," she whispered to her sons, tears falling onto their blankets.
Please, my children.
But fate was merciless. The ceiling groaned. A beam collapsed. Rubble and dust rained down upon Shin's crib. Myra screamed, diving forward, but the smoke blinded her.
Shin!
Kyan's head snapped toward the cry. His blood turned to ice. With a roar, he ripped through enemies in his path, tearing them apart with bare hands. He carved his way back inside, his aura scorching a trail through the chaos. The nursery lay in ruin. Myra knelt amid the wreckage, clutching the silver-haired twin. Shiro still breathed, his cries piercing the din. But Shin's crib lay buried beneath broken beams and stone. Kyan froze. His hands trembled as he lifted debris, splinter after splinter, stone after stone. He searched desperately, but beneath the rubble was no child, only silence.
No,
Myra sobbed, rocking Shiro in her arms.
it can't be. Shin,
Kyan's vision blurred, his chest constricted as if bound by chains. His soul, tempered by centuries of battle, faltered for the first time. Then rage consumed him. His head tilted back and he roared, a roar so fierce the estate itself trembled. His aura exploded outward, golden fire scorching the air.
I will kill you all!
He became fury incarnate. His fists shattered bones, his kicks broke spines, each strike carving bloody craters into the earth. Warriors screamed and fell in droves before his wrath. Yet even Kyan knew the tide would not end. Myra screamed, clutching Shiro.
Kyan, we must go. If we stay, all of us will die.
Grinding his teeth, Kyan tore open a path with raw destruction. He gathered his wife and remaining son close, then surged into the night, the burning estate collapsing into ash behind them. As they fled into the wilderness, Kyan's heart broke. Blood dripped from his clenched fists as he swore his oath to the stars.
Forgive me, my son. If the heavens stole you from me, then I will burn the heavens too.
But neither Kyan nor Myra knew the truth. In the ruins they left behind, a faint glow stirred beneath the rubble. Shin's tiny body shimmered with light, his eyes opening for the briefest of moments. A mark glowed upon his skin, ancient, otherworldly. And then, in a blink, he was gone. Not dead, not destroyed, only vanished. The child in the ruins. In the distance, smoke still coiled into the heavens where villages had burned, but high in the mountains, where dawn mist clung to the stones and the chill air smelled of pine, the world seemed untouched, still, silent, until a sound pierced that silence. A cry, a baby's cry. It was faint, almost swallowed by the wind, yet insistent. It echoed across the ravine like a fragile thread connecting life to the waking world. Through the haze of dawn, a man walked the mountain path with steps steady as iron. His long gray hair was tied into a warrior's knot, streaks of white glinting in the faint light. Age had etched lines into his face, but his body radiated the coiled strength of a predator still dangerous. His robe was worn, its edges frayed from years of use, Yet his presence alone made the forest seem to bow in silence. This was Master Ryuzen, once a martial legend, feared and revered in equal measure. Now retired, he lived quietly, training the next generation in his humble dojo below the mountains. But fate had not finished with him. Ryuzen stopped mid-step. His sharp eyes, honed by decades of battle, caught sight of something strange in the rubble ahead. A pile of broken beams, torn cloth, cracked stone. Amidst it, faint light shimmered, and there, wrapped in splinters and dust, lay a child. The infant stirred, his cries softening. For a heartbeat, Ryuzen thought he saw a glimmer within the boy's eyes, a strange, otherworldly symbol flashing across them before vanishing as quickly as it came. Then only soft, innocent eyes remained. Ryuzen's brow furrowed. His deep voice rolled into the silence.
An abandoned child. No, the heavens don't play tricks like this.
He knelt, his scarred hands moving with a gentleness that surprised even himself. As he lifted the child, the baby cooed and reached up boldly, grasping a handful of his beard. Ryuzen winced.
Tch, bold little thing, aren't you?
But his gruff tones softened when the baby giggled. His lips curved into something rare, a faint smile.
Very well. Seems fate has decided I'm not done raising brats.
By sunrise, the old master walked into town. The baby was swaddled in his cloak, eyes wide as he peeked out at the bustling market. Merchants shouted over their wares, children chased one another, farmers led carts of produce. But the moment people noticed Ryuzen, voices dropped. Whispers rippled through the crowd like wind through grass. Is that Master Ryuzen? With a baby? Don't tell me he has a mistress outside the city. Ha! So much for discipline and honor. Even legends have their secrets. Ryuzen's face twitched. The child in his arms let out a happy gurgle, as if laughing at the scandal.
Stop that!
Ryuzen muttered, glaring down.
You're making me look guilty.
The gossip followed him all the way to the dojo. At the gates, two small figures were already waiting.
Papa!
A boy of 5 came barreling forward, hair sticking out in messy tufts, his grin wide. This was Taro, Ryuzen's eldest adopted child, full of fire, full of trouble, and never short on energy. Behind him ran a girl of 4. Her hair was tied into uneven buns, and her eyes sparkled with mischief. Mika, sweet-faced but clever, who loved nothing more than teasing her brother and her master alike.
Papa, you're late again!
Taro huffed, puffing out his cheeks, then froze when he saw the bundle.
Wait, what's that?
Mika hurried closer, hands clasped behind her back.
Ooh, a baby.
She poked at the child's cheek.
He's so tiny.
The infant blinked, then smiled.
Don't poke him like he's a stray cat,
Ryuzen grumbled. Taro's grin turned sly.
Don't tell me. Papa brought home another brother. What? Do babies just follow you around now?
Mika giggled, sing-songing.
Maybe Papa's got a lady outside town.
Silence, both of you!
Ryuzen barked, though his ears turned red. Inside the dojo, rows of students bowed as their master entered. But waiting in the center stood Kenji, the assistant. Tall, stern, always composed. He had been Ryuzen's right hand for years, the one who kept the dojo running whenever the old man wandered.
Master,
Kenji said flatly, arms crossed.
once again you vanish without notice. You cannot abandon your duties so easily.
I was busy.
Ryuzen M.
Uttered. Kenji raised a brow.
Busy?
His gaze dropped to the infant. His jaw tightened.
Master, whose child is this?
The room fell silent. Students leaned forward, eager to hear. Before Ryuzen could answer, Taro shouted proudly,
Papa brought him home. He's our new brother!
Kenji's frown deepened.
A dojo is no place for infants. We are not.
But Mika cut him off, fists on her hips.
Then we'll make it a place for babies. He's ours now.
Kenji froze, her glare pinning him in place. Around them, students chuckled. Ryuzin coughed, hiding his smile.
There. Settled. He stays.
Kenji groaned, defeated.
The heavens curse me for serving this man.
Time passed. The baby was given a name, Shin. He grew surrounded by fists and shouts, laughter and discipline. He crawled across the dojo mats, copying stances he saw, his tiny arms flailing as if already practicing martial forms. He tugged at Ryuzen's robe during lessons, demanding attention. He laughed when Mika tickled him and cried when Taro pushed him too hard. The disciples soon grew used to him. Some teased that he'd be their youngest brother in arms. Others whispered that his eyes, so strangely deep, held something unusual. At night, Ryuzen often sat cross-legged with the boy on his lap, guiding his breathing. Though Shin was too young to understand, his little hands mimicked the motions. In the torchlight, his eyes shone with an intensity beyond his years. Years slipped by. By 6, Shin's fist could knock over a wooden dummy. By 7, he sparred playfully with Taro, both boys shouting challenges until Mika joined in with cheers and teasing. Shin was quieter than the others, more focused, but never cold. His strength grew quickly, his strikes precise. Taro boasted loudly, but sometimes found himself flat on the ground. Mika laughed the hardest at those moments. Ryuzen watched them all with a gaze that softened more often than he admitted. He had raised many students, but this boy felt different. And though he would never say it aloud in the quiet of the night, he sometimes wondered, why did fate place you in my path? Whispers of a rising star. The village square was alive with noise and color. Stalls brimmed with fruit that glistened in the morning sun, their sweetness mingling with the sharp scent of spices. Fabrics of red and gold fluttered in the breeze, merchants calling out their prices with booming voices. Children darted between the legs of shoppers, laughing as they raced each other through the streets. Amidst the bustle walked 3 familiar figures. Shin, basket balanced firmly in his arms, Taro striding beside him with restless energy, and Mika skipping lightly at their side. Ryuzen had sent them for supplies, but the errand felt less like a duty and more like a glimpse into the world beyond the dojo walls. Not all glances were kind. Whispers followed Shin wherever he walked. That's the boy Ryuzen picked up years ago. No family, no past, maybe cursed. Or maybe a secret son from a mistress. Ha! The words stung, though Shin kept his face calm. He smiled faintly, pretending not to hear, but inside the whispers sank like needles. Beside him, Taro bristled, his fists clenched, his jaw tight. He was ready to swing at the next insult. But Shin's quiet presence steadied him. Shin didn't need to answer the whispers, not with words. The bullies. The trouble came in the plaza. 3 older boys, taller and broader, stepped into their path. The leader was the merchant's son, known for his arrogance and his father's coin. Well, look here, he sneered, arms folded. The dojo brat and his stray dog brother. Mika stepped forward, fire flashing in her eyes.
Shut up! Shin's stronger than you'll ever be.
The bullies laughed. One shoved Shin's basket, sending fruit scattering across the ground. Oranges rolled beneath the stalls, an apple cracked underfoot. Taro surged forward, fury blazing, but Shin stopped him with a steady hand. He stepped past his brother, fists clenched but voice calm.
I don't want trouble,
he said evenly, his dark eyes fixed on the smirking bully.
but if you touch my family again, you'll regret it.
The merchant's son scoffed and lunged, but Shin moved like water, sidestepping, hooking his foot at the right moment. The bully stumbled, then crashed face first into the dust. The plaza went silent. The boy scrambled up, cheeks burning red, but he did not lunge again. His friends muttered curses under their breath and dragged him away. Mika burst into laughter, pointing.
Serves you right.
Taro puffed his chest proudly, clapping Shin on the back. And the whispers changed. That boy, he fights like a prodigy. Did you see his movement? That wasn't luck. Ryuzen's found a star. The children's meet. Weeks later, the village prepared for the children's meet. It was a festival of games and contests, meant for laughter, yet carrying the undercurrent of rivalry between dojos. Every master watched closely, measuring who might become the next rising star. Kenji was skeptical.
He's not ready.
He muttered, arms crossed.
Entering will only draw more eyes onto us.
But Ryuzen shook his head.
Let the boy test himself. A cub learns the forest not by hiding, but by walking through it.
So Shin, Taro, and Mika entered together. The games began. Mika stunned the crowd with her archery, striking 3 targets in a row. Her small frame seemed almost too delicate, but her focus was sharp, her aim unwavering. Taro dominated the sprint, dashing across the finish line to the wild cheers of children. He raised his arms like a champion, grinning as though he'd won the world. Shin was quieter, but no less impressive. In every small contest, balance, reflex, concentration, he excelled. Whether standing on one foot atop a beam or catching falling sticks with perfect timing, his movements seemed effortless. Some called it talent. Others whispered it was unnatural. The sparring matches. At last came the sparring. A wooden platform was raised, the crowd circling close. Children faced off, one by one, cheered on by their families. Taro fought bravely but was eliminated after a heated clash. Mika did not qualify, though she earned applause for her spirit. And then Shin stepped forward. His opponent was older by 2 years, taller by a head, and heavier by half again. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Poor kid. He'll be crushed. The match began. The larger boy charged with a roar, swinging recklessly. But Shin moved with calm precision. A parry, redirecting the strike. A sidestep, letting momentum carry his foe forward. A sweep of his leg, and the boy crashed to the ground, breathless. Gasps erupted. Some cheered. Others stared in disbelief. Who is this child? He fights like he's been training for decades. Shin bowed humbly, his expression calm. Evening at the dojo. That night, the dojo buzzed with energy. Taro sulked in the corner, muttering excuses for his loss. Mika teased him mercilessly. Shin sat quietly with Ryuzen.
You held back,
the master said at last, voice soft but knowing. Shin tilted his head.
I didn't want to hurt him.
A faint smile touched Ryuzen's lips.
Mercy in strength. That is the mark of a true martial artist. Never forget that.
From across the room, Kenji watched with a furrowed brow. His suspicion of Shin only deepened. Under the stars. Later, long after the laughter had faded, Shin lay awake. The beams of the dojo ceiling stretched above him, but his thoughts wandered far. He remembered the whispers, the cheers, the clash of fists, and for the first time he felt it. Ambition.
I will become stronger.
He whispered to himself.
Strong enough that no one can ever look down on me again.
He stepped outside. The courtyard was bathed in moonlight. Above, the stars burned like lanterns across a sea of black. Shin tilted his head back and gazed upward. The world felt so vast, so endless. He had heard stories from travelers of rivers that shimmered like silver, of mountains that pierced the heavens, of cities where warriors from every land gathered to test their strength. He imagined the laughter of strangers, the roar of arenas, the thrill of roads that stretched forever. A faint smile tugged at his lips.
Someday I'll see it for myself. Someday I'll walk beyond these walls and touch the world with my own hands.
His fists clenched. Yes, he needed strength, but not only strength. Beyond tournaments and dojos, there was life waiting for him, and he swore to the stars above that he would claim it.
Shin?
The voice was soft. He turned to see Mika, lantern light touching her face. She hesitated before stepping closer.
You've been out here a while.
She said gently.
Are you all right?
Shin nodded faintly.
Yeah, just thinking.
Her brows furrowed.
You don't need to push yourself so hard. Everyone saw your strength today. You've already proven yourself.
Shin shook his head, fists tightening at his side.
Not enough. I still have far to go.
Mika sighed softly, then stepped closer. Her voice lowered.
Then rest for tonight. Even stars need the dark to shine brighter the next day.
For a moment, her words lingered in him, like an ember warming his chest. He nodded slowly.
You're right. I'll rest.
She smiled, a small, gentle smile that eased the weight in his heart.
Good. Tomorrow we'll need your strength.
As she walked away, Shin found himself watching her until she disappeared inside, and for the first time, the heaviness in his chest lightened. That night, a spark was born, a spark that would one day blaze across worlds. Dojo days. The sun had barely risen when the courtyard of the Ruzin Dojo came alive. The sound of bare feet slapped against wooden planks. The sharp crack of practice staffs echoed as they struck targets. Children grunted with effort, their voices blending with the steady rhythm of discipline. Over it all carried the stern voice of Kenji.
Back straighter, foot firmer, strike cleaner.
His words cut through the morning haze like a blade. Kenji's narrow eyes swept across the rows of students. His wiry frame and furrowed brows made him look perpetually irritated, and today he was in an even fouler mood. Among the children stood Shin, smaller than most, yet his stance was steady, his movements precise. He flowed through each motion with quiet determination, never faltering. Beside him, Taro threw himself into every strike with reckless energy. His foot slipped, his arm too wide, but his grin never faded. And Mika, sharp-eyed and cheeky, stuck her tongue out at Kenji whenever he turned away.
Again!
Kenji barked. The children groaned, sweat dripping, yet none dared disobey. Master Ryuzin had left town earlier that morning to visit an old friend, leaving Kenji in charge. The burden weighed on him, though he would never admit it. His eyes narrowed as they lingered on Shin.
That boy.
He muttered under his breath.
Always too calm. Always too steady. What lies beneath that stillness?
Kenji's challenge. Later that day, Kenji called out.
You, step forward.
Shin obeyed, bowing politely. Kenji's gaze swept across the courtyard.
3 of you, test him. Don't hold back.
A ripple of excitement passed through the students. Whispers buzzed. Who would step up? Haruto, tall and wiry, stepped forward first. His temper was as sharp as his strikes. Riku followed, heavyset, gripping a polished staff. His strength was raw but dangerous. Last was Sora, the youngest of the trio, but quick as lightning, his fists known to blur in motion. The 3 formed a loose circle around Shin. Dust rose from the ground, stirred by their steps. Kenji's voice cracked like a whip.
Begin.
Shin versus 3 disciples. Haruto lunged first, his palms glowing faintly with iron palm form, a technique designed to shatter defenses. He roared as he drove his strike downward. Shin twisted aside at the last instant, catching Haruto's wrist and pulling him forward. With a single fluid motion, he spun the taller boy to the ground. "One move!" a disciple gasped. Haruto slammed the dirt, coughing, his pride burning hotter than his bruises. Riku roared, swinging his staff in a sweeping arc. The polished wood hummed as it cut through the air. Shin ducked low, his foot snapping out in a dragon sweep. Riku staggered but thrust his staff like a spear, grazing Shin's shoulder. Shin responded with a sharp palm strike, deflecting it with ease. "That's 3 counters already!" another student cried. Sora darted in then, fists snapping forward in a blur. Flowing fist style, rapid, relentless. His knuckles flashed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shin absorbed the strikes along his forearms, stepping backward, then slipped behind him. With a push, he shoved Sora into Haruto, who had just managed to rise. Both tumbled back down, groaning. The courtyard erupted with shouts. 5, 6. Children counted eagerly, their voices full of awe. But the fight wasn't finished. Riku charged again, swinging downward with crushing force. Shin sidestepped, feeling the wind of the strike brush past him. Haruto feinted high, aiming for Shin's face, only for Shin to block low, catching the strike before twisting his arm. Sora leapt with a spinning kick, his heel aimed at Shin's temple. Shin met him mid-air, Shin against Shin. The impact cracked like wood snapping, and both stumbled back. Dust rose around them. The courtyard rang with every strike, the air alive with tension. Some students cheered Shin, others whispered uneasily, "He's just a foundling. How can he fight like this? It's not natural. Or maybe he's destined for more." Finally, Shin pivoted, thrusting his palm into Riku's chest. The heavy boy staggered, then collapsed to the ground, gasping. Haruto charged again in fury, but Shin met his momentum with a clean throw over his shoulder, sending him crashing flat. Sora, desperate, lunged once more, but Shin braced, deflecting him aside. The younger boy rolled across the dirt, defeated. All 3 lay sprawled on the ground. Shin alone remained standing, chest rising steadily, his calmness unshaken. The courtyard erupted. "I can't believe it! He handled all 3! No way, they went easy on him. You saw it, his movements, too sharp." Admiration clashed with envy. One boy in the corner clenched his fists, muttering, "Next time I'll be the one to put him down." Kenji stood silent, his arms folded, eyes sharp. Inside, his thoughts tangled, admiration and jealousy, both dangerous in a dojo. His gaze settled on Shin. The boy stood calm, still as water. That calmness unsettled Kenji more than any strike, a storm hidden in a boy's skin. And storms, they never stay quiet for long.
Enough noise!
Kenji barked. Instantly, silence fell. Instead of praise, Kenji tossed a pouch of coins toward Shin, Taro, and Mika.
Take these, go into town, buy herbs and rice for the dojo. If you return late or empty-handed, drills will double tomorrow.
Taro groaned.
Errands? After all that?
Kenji's glare silenced him instantly. The 3 set off. The village bustled with life, vendors shouting, banners fluttering, the scent of grilled fish drifting on the wind. Shin carried the heavier bundles while Taro stumbled, nearly dropping the basket twice.
Focus!
Mika scolded, tugging him forward. They passed by, gossiping townsfolk. That's Ruzine's foundling. Strange how he carries himself. Shin heard it all, but kept silent, his steps steady. When they returned, other disciples waited at the gates. Some clapped Shin on the back, voices full of admiration. Others turned away, muttering bitterly. Kenji silenced them with a glare, though his own thoughts remained troubled.
He learns too quickly, faster than any boy should. If this continues, he may outgrow us all.
That evening, after chores were done and lanterns dimmed, Shin climbed onto the dojo rooftop. The stars stretched endlessly above, cold and bright. Taro clambered up after him, grinning wide.
There you are! Thought you'd already run off to be some wandering hero.
Mika followed, arms folded.
If he did, he'd leave you behind first.
Shin's eyes stayed fixed on the stars.
One day, I want to see the world beyond these hills. Oceans, mountains, warriors, everything.
Taro lay back, hands behind his head.
Then let's promise. No matter where we go, no matter what happens, we'll always find our way back together.
Mika hesitated, then reached out her hand.
Fine, but you two better not make me regret this.
The three clasped hands, their laughter carrying softly into the night air. When the laughter faded, Shin lingered. The stars shimmered like distant fires, and his chest tightened with longing. The world is vast.
If I can grow strong enough, I'll see it someday.
But not all eyes that night were kind. Beyond the dojo gates, cloaked in shadow, a lone figure stood. He had watched the sparring. He had followed them to town. And now he watched their laughter beneath the stars. His lips curled into a humorless smile. So this is the boy Master Ryuzen shelters. Interesting. He stepped back into the darkness, his presence swallowed by the night. His task was simple: to observe, to learn, and to report. Far beyond the quiet town, a rival awaited his word, a rival whose name was not yet spoken. The time skip begins. The years passed and the world turned. Shin was no longer the small, timid boy who once swept dojo floors with downcast eyes. Now 11, his body had grown lean and firm, shaped by years of unrelenting discipline. Muscles wrapped tightly across his frame, not bulky but woven for speed, precision, and endurance. His eyes, once wide with uncertainty, now carried a steady fire, though they still held that unsettling quietness that made even grown men hesitate when they looked too long. Master Ryuzen often remarked,
The boy carries his ki like a storm sealed in a bottle. Tremendous power, but fragile balance.
And balance was Shin's greatest struggle. Shin's training. He could draw upon ki, the life essence that flowed through all living things, with growing ease. But controlling it, shaping it, was another matter. Sometimes Shin's energy surged too violently, flooding his body until his muscles trembled and his vision blurred. Other times it refused to answer, leaving him standing still with clenched fists and teeth grinding in frustration. His failures gnawed at him, yet he returned each dawn to the courtyard, never yielding. One technique, however, had begun to take root: the Dragon Fist. Day after day, Ryuzen guided him. The courtyard rang with the master's voice, steady as rolling thunder.
Your spirit must not scatter, Shin. Focus it, sharpen it. When you strike, the dragon must roar from your heart.
Again and again, Shin drove his fist forward. At first, nothing but raw force, then a faint shimmer. And slowly, almost reluctantly, a golden aura began to form. It coiled around his fist, shaping itself like the head of a dragon. Fierce, luminous, alive. It was beautiful. It was dangerous. His body strained under the weight of it, as if not yet worthy to contain such power. Still, Shin persevered, sweat streaming, knuckles raw. The town of Hoshinawa. Beyond the dojo walls, the town itself seemed to breathe martial spirit. Hoshinawa was no ordinary place. Cradled between emerald mountains and rivers that sang through the valleys, it was a land where every breath carried the scent of discipline and battle. Dojo banners swayed on every street like shrines of devotion. Blacksmiths hammered weapons in blazing forges. Herbalists ground roots into medicines that soothed bruises and set broken bones. In taverns and markets, spirited debates rose over techniques, duels, and warriors of old. Children sparred in alleyways with sticks for swords. Elders measured time not by seasons, but by the years between great tournaments. This was Hoshinawa, a place where strength was life and legacy was breath. And now a storm of anticipation gathered. The festival approaches. The youth martial tournament, the pride of Hoshinawa, was almost upon them. Every few years, disciples under 18 took the stage, representing their masters before the eyes of the entire city. To outsiders, it may have seemed mere sport, but to the people of Hoshinawa, it was a sacred festival. Pride, honor, and the legacy of entire schools weighed upon each strike. Vendors prepared trays of sizzling food for the festival crowds. Children staged mock duels in the streets. Traveling bards sang songs of champions from years past. The air crackled with anticipation, like static before a storm. This year carried special weight. 8 masters had agreed to send their disciples, each selecting 2 fighters, 16 competitors in all. The streets whispered of them by name, their reputations already shaping the crowd's expectations. The 8 Masters. 1. Master Ryuzin, Dragon's Path Dojo. A man of calm wisdom, master of Kai's flowing river. His 2 disciples stood in sharp contrast, Shin, the quiet storm of hidden power, and Taro, fast and disciplined, his strikes like arrows in flight. Patience and potential would be their banner. 2. Master Gendo, Iron Fang Dojo, feared for his merciless methods. His disciples were Ryzen, crimson-eyed prodigy whose aura blazed like fire, and Kaoru, precise and cold, who ended matches swiftly with surgical strikes. They were blades of steel, honed to cut. 3rd Master Hino, Crimson Flame Dojo, a hot-blooded man whose fists burned like embers. His disciples, Renji, a brawler with explosive punches, and Aya, swift and graceful, her kicks sparking heat. They embodied passion unleashed. 4. Master Shumei, White Crane Dojo, a woman of grace, her art flowing like water. Her disciples were Meilin, whose palm strikes carried serene strength, and Kato, calm but deadly precise. They fought like wind weaving through water. 5. Master Daigo, Boulder Fist Dojo, built like the mountains he mirrored. His disciples, Haru, a wall of defense with fists like stone, and Isamu, whose stomps cracked the ground. They carried the earth's weight in their bodies. 6. Master Takeda, Shadow Serpent Dojo, cold, quiet, feared for ruthless cunning. His disciples were Sora, strikes sharp as venom, and now swift as a snake's coil, her movements deceptive and cruel. Whispers followed wherever they walked. 7. Master Kazuro, Stormfang Dojo, unpredictable, wild as thunder. His disciples, Tenshiro, reckless charges like lightning bolts, and Yumi, spinning strikes that cracked the air. They embodied a tempest's fury. 8. Master Hoshida, Iron Wave Dojo, patient, deliberate, relentless. His disciples, Akemi, a tactician who read rhythms like music, and Daiichi, whose stamina broke opponents over time. They struck like waves carving stone. Each master brought not only skill, but pride. Each disciple bore their school's legacy on their shoulders, and this year, their clashes would light the city like fire. Ryuzin's rival. Yet for all the names on the list, one rivalry towered above the rest: Master Ryuzin and Master Gendo. Where Ryuzin carried calm wisdom, his eyes softened by years of reflection, Gendo's gaze was sharp and unforgiving. His discipline was merciless, his expectations absolute. His gray eyes cut like blades, stripping away weakness with every glance. Long ago, the two had faced each other in a duel so fierce it shook the foundations of Hoshinawa itself. The clash ended in a draw, but the story lived on in every tavern and training hall. To the people, they were twin pillars of mastery, locked in an eternal struggle for supremacy. And now their disciples would carry that fire forward. Shin and Raisin. In Gendo's care rose Raisin, crimson-eyed, prodigious, relentless. His strikes cracked stone, his aura burned with the fury of an open flame. He was said to fight as though the battlefield belonged to him alone. In Ruzen's care stood Shin, quiet, unyielding, a storm sealed tight. His strikes held not fire, but thunder waiting to be unleashed. The people whispered already of their inevitable clash. "The storm and the fire," they murmured. "Destiny itself has arranged this duel." And so the stage was set. A storm sealed in silence, a fire demanding to be seen, two paths destined to collide. The martial world unveiled. The morning sun painted the town of Hoshinawa in shades of gold, its light falling on the grand arena at the city's heart. The structure was massive, carved from stone that gleamed as though it had been polished by 1,000 hands. Tier upon tier of steps curved upward, and every seat overflowed with townsfolk, merchants, wandering travelers, and children eager to see the martial world brought to life. The noise was overwhelming. Vendors shouted over one another, waving trays of sweet buns, grilled skewers, and roasted meats. Children darted between adults, waving paper flags painted with the proud emblems of their favorite dojos. Elders sat in clusters, their voices hoarse as they argued over the outcomes of fights not yet begun, recalling legendary duels from tournaments long past. Today was not an ordinary contest. Today it felt as if the very eyes of the martial world were fixed on Hoshinawa. The Overseer. At the center of the arena, standing tall though his body had withered with age, was Elder Kuroda. His hair was long and white, tied neatly behind him, and though his frame looked frail, his presence alone silenced tens of thousands. He lifted one hand and the roar of the crowd dwindled into stillness. Kuroda's wrinkled face bore the weight of centuries. His eyes, sharp as ever, swept across the gathered disciples. When he spoke, his voice was not loud, but it carried to every corner of the arena, steady as iron.
"Disciples of Hoshinawa,"
he declared,
"today you do not fight for blood nor vengeance. You fight for honor. You fight for the pride of your masters. You fight for the spirit of this town."
The crowd erupted into cheers so thunderous that the stone beneath their feet trembled. Kuroda raised his hand again. Silence returned, quick and absolute.
"The rules are as follows,"
he said.
"Each dojo has sent forth 2 disciples. They will be paired against another school. First, they fight one-on-one, disciple against disciple. Should each dojo claim 1 victory apiece, the victors will meet again in a tiebreaker. The side that triumphs will advance. If both disciples of one dojo claim victory, both shall proceed. No killing is permitted. Victory is by knockout, or if your opponent cannot rise within 10 counts. Ki, weapons, techniques, all are permitted. Let strength, spirit, and discipline decide."
At his signal, drums thundered like rolling storms, echoing across the sky. The tournament had begun. The arena awakens. The disciples lined up in formation, banners fluttering above them like waves. Each dojo's colors swayed in the morning wind, scarlet flames, white cranes, stormy blues, and the deep black of iron. The crowd responded in waves of cheers and clapping, some shouting names of their favorite schools, others making wagers in hushed tones. "Do you feel it?" a traveler whispered to another. "This is more than a town tournament. Scouts from the capital are here. Even envoys from the hidden sects may be watching." The Youth Martial Tournament was no small event. For the chosen few, this was a gateway, a first step toward regional contests, secret trials, perhaps even the path to immortality itself. Every disciple in the arena knew it, and so did the crowd. When the first match was called, even the air seemed to hold its breath. The early matches. The Lotus Bloom Dojo struck first. Their disciple Mei whirled across the platform, her kicks slicing the air like petals in a storm. Her opponent staggered, and with a final spinning strike to the jaw, he collapsed. Victory came swiftly, and the crowd roared. Her partner, Shiori, followed with patience and grace. She let her opponent exhaust himself, parrying until he could barely stand, then toppled him with a simple redirect. The Stone Ridge Dojo thundered next. Taro stepped forward, his frame built like a mountain. His fist crashed into a wooden sparring shield, shattering it in one blow before sending his opponent flying into the dust. The arena shook with each strike. Riku, his fellow disciple, charged like a bull, ramming his opponent with such force the boy bounced twice before lying motionless. Storm Fang Dojo dazzled the crowd. Tenshiro blurred from one side of the arena to the other, striking faster than the eye could follow. His partner Ren struck with palm after palm, each blow echoing like thunder until his opponent could no longer stand. Match after match, styles collided. Grace faced raw strength. Speed clashed with patience. The crowd roared with every victory, gasped at every knockout. Sparks of ki lit the air, and dust rose from shattered tiles. The martial world unveiled itself, one strike at a time. Silver Dragon Dojo enters. Finally, Elder Kuroda's voice rang out.
Silver Dragon Dojo versus Lotus Bloom Dojo.
The arena hushed, then erupted in cheers. All eyes turned to Master Ryuzin's disciples, especially Shin, the boy whispered about in secret corners of the city. "That's him," murmured a merchant. "They say Ryuzin found him abandoned. Gifted, but unstable. Look at his eyes, too steady for a child." Shin's match. The first bout was Shin versus Mei. They bowed. Mei's smile was confident, almost playful. "You look calm," she teased, "but composure won't save you." Shin's answer was quiet.
We'll see.
The drum boomed. Mei struck like lightning, her kicks snapping one after another. The first rattled Shin's guard, the second swept his legs, the third slammed into his ribs, sending him sprawling across the platform. Gasps rippled through the arena. Elder Kuroda's voice counted.
1, 2, 3.
Shin groaned, clutching his ribs.
Too fast. Her rhythm is like water.
4, 5, 6.
Ryuzin's voice echoed in his memory.
The dragon does not fear the storm. It is the storm.
At 8, Shin rose, unsteady but resolute. Mei darted forward, her leg whipping toward his head. This time, Shin ducked. He stepped inside her guard, and golden ki flared along his fist.
Dragon Fist!
His punch struck her midsection. For an instant, a dragon's head shimmered around his arm. Mei's eyes widened. Then she crumpled to the floor, breath gone.
10, out.
Elder Kuroda declared. The arena erupted. The quiet boy had revealed his storm. Taro's match. The next fight, Taro versus Shiori. "Don't blink!" Taro shouted, charging like wildfire. His fists came fast, reckless, overflowing with energy. But Shiori's elegance held. She twisted, caught his arm, and slammed him into the floor. The crowd counted, but Taro laughed, slamming his palms into the ground and leaping back to his feet.
Not done yet!
He roared. Again and again he charged, forcing Shiori backward. But her patience never faltered. At last she spun, her palms striking his chest with perfect timing. The air left his lungs in a rush. He collapsed. This time the count reached 10.
Winner Shiori.
The crowd cheered. The score stood at 1 each. The tiebreaker.
Now,
Elder Kuroda announced.
the victors will decide the round. Shin versus Shiori.
The air grew heavy. Shiori exhaled, her eyes sharp. You've beaten Mei, but I won't fall. The drums sounded. Shiori struck first, weaving elegantly, parrying Shin's fists. But Shin's movements were sharper now, his ki burning hotter. Step by step, he pressed her back. At last, he leapt, his fist blazing gold. The dragon's maw erupted again, crashing against her guard. The force blasted her across the arena floor. She slid, breathless, unable to rise.
10, out! Silver Dragon Dojo advances!
Kuroda's voice shook the arena. The crowd roared Shin's name. Shin! 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 Closing. As the sun dipped low, the first day ended. Weary disciples limped from the stage. Victors raised their arms high. But Ryzen of Iron Fang stood apart. His crimson eyes glowed like fire. He had crushed his opponents with terrifying ease, each strike merciless and final. When his gaze found Shin across the arena, Shin felt a chill that pierced deeper than fear. Elder Kuroda raised his hand one last time.
Tomorrow, the semi-finals begin. Rest well, warriors of Hoshinawa. Tomorrow, destiny sharpens its blade.
The drums thundered, the crowd roared, and the night swallowed the city in anticipation. The semi-final trials. The drums of Hoshinawa thundered again, a rolling cadence that spilled down the mountainsides and drew every soul toward the arena. Morning haze lifted from the city like a veil, and beneath it the great stone amphitheater swelled with life, voices piling atop voices until the sound became a living thing. Vendors hoisted trays, calling out over the swell. Children waved paper flags that snapped in the breeze. Old men leaned on canes, arguing in hoarse whispers about stances and counters from tournaments decades past. Cloaked sect scouts lingered in the shadows, their eyes sharp, their expressions unreadable. Today, the last barrier before the final match would be broken. Today, 2 dojos would step into destiny. At the waiting gates, Shin and Taro stood shoulder to shoulder. Above them, 4 banners rippled against the blue: Silver Dragon, Iron Fang, Storm Fang, Crimson Tiger. The cloth cracked softly in the mountain wind like distant whips. On the raised dais, Elder Kuroda lifted one hand. The roar folded into silence with surprising speed, as if the whole city had inhaled and held its breath.
Today,
Kuroda said, voice old yet unwavering.
we will decide the 2 dojos who shall walk into the final battle.
A long beat.
Let the semi-finals begin.
The crowd erupted, stamping, clapping, screaming names. The air tightened, hot and bright, as though every lung had drawn fire. Match 1, Silver Dragon Dojo versus Crimson Tiger Dojo. From the east gate, Crimson Tiger entered first. Jiro and Koji, brothers by blood, stepped onto the stone with crimson wraps fluttering around their fists. Their aura burned, hot, feral, barely leashed. Even the way they breathed suggested a snarl. From the opposite gate, Shin and Taro emerged to a wave of sound. "Show them the dragon spirit," someone howled, and a surge of "Silver Dragon, Silver Dragon" rolled around the amphitheater, climbing the tiers and returning like thunder. The gong rang. Sub-Match 1, Taro versus Koji. Taro didn't wait. He launched forward like a wildfire breaking through brush, fists blazing, steps loud and sure. Koji met him headlong, no feints, no caution, just pure collision. Punch hammered punch, shin bones cracked against shins. The rhythm of their clash rang like steel in a forge. Taro grinned through split lips, eyes bright with the joy of battle.
You hit hard, but so do I.
He drew a breath that seemed to pull heat from the air itself, forcing ki into his fists until a rippling light sheathed them up to the forearms.
Blazing Fang rush!
The form snapped into place, angles sharpened, footwork narrowed, tempo doubled. Strikes came from high, then low, then from a drifting sidestep that pulled Koji's guard apart. Koji blocked, teeth bared, but Taro's pressure did not abate. One hook slammed the ribs, a knee clipped the thigh, an elbow scraped the jaw, and then the finishing cross hammered the sternum with the weight of thunder. Koji's heels skidded, his eyes glazed. He collapsed in a heap, chest heaving once, twice, then still.
Victory. Taro of Silver Dragon.
Kuroda's voice carried cleanly to the far seats. The arena erupted. A rain of paper flags fluttered down from the upper tiers. Taro lifted a fist and let the wave wash over him just once, then exhaled and stepped off the platform, rolling his shoulders loose, the grin never leaving his face. Sub-Match 2, Shin versus Jiro. Silence pooled as Shin stepped onto the stone. His ribs still ached faintly from earlier bouts, but something within him had settled in the night. His ki flowed clearer, steadier, like a river after stones have been cleared from its bed. His body felt lighter, sharper, alive. Jiro cracked his knuckles, lips peeling back in a feral smile. "You beat one of ours before," he growled, "but you won't beat me. I'll break you here." Shin's eyes narrowed, calm, steady.
We'll see.
The gong struck. Jiro came like a predator, pouncing, fast, heavy, cruel. Fists carved the air like claws from every angle, raking high, stabbing low, whipsawing for joints. Shin met them with quiet economy. Parry, redirect, short step, elbow shield. The impacts rattled along his bones, but his stance held. When he slid, he planted. And when Jiro circled for a flank, Shin drifted a hair's breadth to deny the angle. A snarl cracked from Jiro's throat. Crimson ki flared around his arms, boiling off his skin in heat shimmers. Twin tiger roar. Both fists scythed forward, and the air itself surged. The shockwave hit Shin square in the chest, a crimson hammer that made the arena floor tremble and sent dust fountaining across the tiles. Gasps rippled like a wind through wheat. When the haze thinned, Shin was still there. Dust clung to his sleeves, his breath was heavy, measured, but his gaze had not wavered. Jiro's jaw twitched. "You took that head on?" Shin exhaled, sinking a fraction lower, feet rooted.
Is that all?
Rage blew the lids off Jiro's aura. Crimson brightened to molten. Then fall, dragon! Twin tiger roar! The second wave tore forward stronger than the first, ripping cracks in the stone as it came. Shin's fist rose and golden light gathered. At first, a spark, then a coil, then a gleam that painted the dust with sunrise.
Dragon Fist.
The golden maw erupted to meet the twin crimson tigers. Impact. Light smashed light. A ring of force burst outward, rocking the arena, shuddering banners in their housings. Tiles fractured. Sand hissed across the floor. 1,000 people flinched as the shockwave licked the stands. When the haze finally cleared, 2 figures resolved. Shin, firm, steady, a faint golden shimmer still coiling off his forearm, untouched. Jiro was already sliding, skidding on his back, the crimson torn from his aura. He clawed at the stone, tried to rise. Arms trembled, failed, fell flat, breath rasping. Kuroda's count strode on, implacable.
9, 10. Out. Victory. Shin of Silver Dragon. Silver Dragon Dojo advances to the final.
Sound avalanched. Shin! 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 Chanted the northern tiers. Drums answered from the south. The middle belts hammered the stone with their feet until the whole arena seemed to throb. Taro sprinted to him, laughing, clapping Shin on the back, hard enough to sting.
You didn't just win, you crushed him! Unstoppable!
Shin bowed once, quiet as ever. Inside, the golden river flowed, steady as breath. This time it answered. Match 2, Iron Fang Dojo versus Storm Fang Dojo. The arena trembled again, not from drums, but from the weight of presence. Iron Fang entered. Ryzen walked first. His eyes glowed faintly, the red of banked coals. There was no wasted movement in him, each step measured, each breath contained. Beside him strode Kenta, taller than most men by a head, and broader by 2. A walking wall whose footfalls set small quakes shivering the cracked tiles. Behind them, Master Gendo watched from the edge of the gate, arms folded like iron bars, a thin, proud smile slicing his face. Opposite, Storm Fang took their positions. Takeshi, lean and lightning quick, rolled his shoulders, eyes keen. Ren flexed his fingers. Sparks of raw kai flickered along his palms, snapping like captive thunder. The gong rang. Submatch 1, Kenta versus Ren. Ren burst forward, both palms hammering in a rolling cadence that echoed like thunder across the floor. Each strike landed with a clap. Each clap sent chips leaping from the stone. He hammered Kenta's chest once, twice, thrice, again. Kenta didn't move. His chest rose, fell, calm. Then those huge hands shot forward and closed around Ren's wrists.
Too weak,
he said, and his voice was almost bored. He lifted Ren like a bundle of sticks and slammed him down. The tiles spiderwebbed. The air left Ren's lungs in a hard woof. His eyes rolled, his limbs went slack. He tried to push up. His arms failed him.
Victory! Kenta of Iron Fang!
Kuroda announced. The crowd split, half cheering wildly, half wincing as the crack in the floor stretched like a dark smile. Submatch 2, Ryzen versus Takeshi. All eyes turned to the prodigy. Takeshi moved first, a blur circling Ryzen with sharp-angled entries, jab, low kick, elbow, slide. For a breath, it looked as though Ryzen might be swallowed by speed. Then his aura brightened a shade, the crimson deepening. His eyes sharpened, pupils thinning to razors.
too slow.
The words were not loud, but they carried. Parry, punish, a pivot that erased Takeshi's angle, a forearm that smashed the incoming elbow and turned it into a lever against its owner, a heel that dug like a wedge into Takeshi's lead foot, stealing his base at the exact moment Ryzen's shoulder checked him backward. Takeshi's lightning faltered. Panic nipped at his breath. He reached again, wildly now, and Ryzen stepped in with a clean line, the crimson flooding his fist.
Crimson Fang strike.
The blow landed center chest with a muffled boom. Takeshi's body folded around it, then snapped straight and went still on the stone, eyes rolling before his back even hit the ground.
Victory! Ryzen of Iron Fang! Iron Fang Dojo advances to the final.
The amphitheater fractured into two storms. One howled for Silver Dragon, the other answered for Iron Fang. Flags whipped, drums battled, and somewhere in the uppermost seats, coin purses changed hands with rueful laughter and low curses. Closing scene. High in the stands, Master Ryzen folded his arms, the corner of his mouth tilting, pride tempered by a warrior's caution.
So, it comes to this.
He murmured. Across the arena, Master Gendo smirked, his gaze like a blade honed for years to a perfect edge. On the floor, Shin stood beside Taro, the ache from Jiro's technique still ghosting across his ribs. He barely felt it. His eyes were locked on Raisin's back as the Iron Fang prodigy turned toward the gate. For a heartbeat, Raisin paused. He looked over his shoulder. Crimson light flickered faintly around him, the color of embers in a furnace. Their eyes met. The world thinned to a single taut string. Raisin's stare was merciless. No anger, no theatrics, only a promise carved in fire. Shin's heartbeat drummed once in his throat, hard and clean. He did not look away. Inside, the storm answered, coiling tight, daring the flame to come closer. The path stood clean and straight now. Silver Dragon Dojo versus Iron Fang Dojo. The final battle awaited. The Fang of Iron, the Spirit of Dragon. The arena was alive with thunder. Stamping feet shook the stone steps, banners whipped violently in the wind, and the voices of thousands collided into a single roar. At the center, Elder Kuroda raised his staff high. With one motion, silence spread through the chaos like a wave. His voice, steady and commanding, rolled across the arena.
Final match. 2 dojos remain, Silver Dragon and Iron Fang. The rules stand as before, no killing. Victory is decided by knockout, or by failing to rise before the count of 10. Warriors, prepare yourselves. Let the first battle begin.
The crowd erupted again, splitting into 2 storms. Silver Dragon, Silver Dragon, Iron Fang, Iron Fang. The chants clashed above the arena like lightning, filling the air with tension so sharp it seemed to cut the lungs. Match 1, Taro versus Raisin. Taro stepped forward first. His body carried bruises from the semi-finals, his ribs bandaged beneath his robe, but fire still burned in his eyes. He rolled his shoulders, spat to the side, and thrust a fist toward his chosen opponent.
You're mine first,
he growled. Raisin entered with quiet steps. His aura shimmered faintly crimson, flickering like embers that promised to become an inferno. The crowd's cheers faltered into a hushed unease. Even without a word, Raisin's presence unsettled all who watched. The gong rang. Taro burst forward, his fists blazing as he unleashed the blazing fang rush. His strikes rained like a storm, each punch and kick aimed with reckless determination. The arena gasped as Raisin blocked each blow with minimal movement, his arms folding, shifting, redirecting. His feet never left their place on the stone.
You're loud,
Raisin muttered, his voice cold and calm. He caught Taro's fist mid-strike, locking him in place.
but noise isn't strength.
His counter came in a single devastating motion, a straight punch to the gut. The impact cracked like thunder. Taro staggered back, air torn from his lungs, skidding across the arena floor.
Stand up!
Shin's voice rang from the sidelines, fists clenched tight. Taro groaned, spitting blood, and yet he grinned through the pain.
I'm not done yet!
He forced his ki higher, his fists burning with brighter fire. His steps pounded forward, his roar echoing as he swung again and again, hammering at Raisin's guard. The crowd screamed as Taro's assault forced the prodigy to shift slightly, dust flying beneath his heels. For a heartbeat, it looked as though Raisin might yield ground. Then his eyes flared crimson. His aura erupted outward, swirling in a violent storm of blood-red flame. "Blood flare aura," whispered an elder in the crowd, his voice trembling. Raisin blurred into motion. He slipped between Taro's furious strikes, counters snapping like hammers. One crushed into Taro's ribs, another smashed across his jaw, a third slammed into his chest with crushing weight. Taro dropped to his knees, coughing blood. His body shook under the storm of strikes. Raisin raised his hand high, crimson energy coiling around his fist like a predator. His voice cut through the chaos.
End.
The fist came down. The shockwave blasted outward, throwing dust and stone across the floor. Taro slammed into the tiles, flat and unmoving.
Winner, Raisin of Iron Fang.
Elder Kuroda's voice boomed. Iron Fang's half of the arena erupted into triumphant screams. The other half cried desperately for Taro. Healers rushed to lift him. His swollen eyes cracked open. With bloodied lips, he forced a grin toward Shin.
It's all you now. Don't lose.
And with that, he was carried away. Match 2. Shin versus Kenta. Shin stepped forward. The storm within him pulsed steady, his fists tightening as he watched his brother vanish into the healer's arms. His body still carried bruises from the earlier rounds, but his resolve blazed brighter than any wound. Kenta loomed before him, broad-shouldered, towering, his muscles coiled like steel cables. His smirk showed no mercy.
You're smaller than I thought.
He rumbled, cracking his neck.
Easy to break.
The gong rang. Kenta charged like a bull. His first punch came down like a boulder. The stone tiles shattered as Shin slid aside just in time, dust spraying upward. Another punch followed, then another, each strike splitting the air with terrifying force. The arena shook beneath the weight of his blows.
Run all you like!
Kenta roared, spinning with a wide kick. The strike grazed Shin's guard and sent him tumbling across the floor. Gasps filled the arena, but Shin rolled to his feet quickly, chest rising and falling in steady rhythm. His eyes remained calm.
That all?
Shin asked softly. Kenta snarled, rushing again, but this time Shin's fist shimmered faint gold. He struck Kenta's ribs. The glowing maw of a dragon flared briefly, forcing the giant back a single step. The crowd erupted. Kenta only grinned savagely.
Not bad, but I'm not like the others.
He seized Shin by the collar, lifted him high, and slammed him into the stone. The ground shattered beneath them, cracks spreading outward.
1, 2, 3.
Elder Kuroda began the count. Shin's vision swam, his ribs burning. But his spirit did not falter. At 4, he slammed his fist into the ground, forcing his body upright. His eyes blazed with renewed fire.
Good!
Kenta growled.
At least you can stand.
The clash resumed. Kenta's fists swung like wrecking balls, each blow heavy enough to break bone. Shin darted between them, blocking one, deflecting another, countering with precise jabs and kicks. Golden sparks flared with every strike. Stone dust filled the air. Each impact echoed like rolling thunder. Shin's speed met Kenta's strength, neither relenting. Finally, Kenta roared, his ki surging iron gray. His muscles swelled as power erupted from his body.
Iron Crusher!
He hurled a devastating punch, the ground splitting before it even landed. Shin planted his feet, his aura arms blazing gold light.
Dragon Fist.
The two strikes collided. The sound was deafening, like mountains colliding. Shockwaves blasted outward, dust exploding in waves across the arena. When the haze cleared, both fighters stood still. For a moment, the world held its breath. Then Kenta's eyes widened. Trembling, he staggered back. Shin's fist pressed firmly against his chest, golden light still burning bright. With a grunt, the Iron Fang giant's knees buckled. His body collapsed into the shattered tiles, the ground cracking beneath his massive frame.
10. Out!
Elder Kuroda thundered.
Winner, Shin of Silver Dragon.
The Silver Dragon half of the arena erupted in wild cheers. Shin stood tall, his chest heaving, sweat dripping, his fist still glowing faintly with golden light. The stage is set. The chants split the air once more. Shin, Shin, Shin. Raisin, Raisin, Raisin. Across the arena, Raisin's crimson aura coiled like fire-made flesh. His eyes glowed mercilessly, cold and sharp as blades. Elder Kuroda raised his staff, his voice cutting through the chaos.
The final match. Shin of Silver Dragon versus Raisin of Iron Fang. This battle will decide the champions of Hoshinawa.
The mountains themselves seemed to echo with the roar that followed. Shin clenched his fists, his storm raging within. Raisin's crimson gaze promised destruction. The spirit of the dragon stood against the fang of iron. The final clash had come, the breaking point. The roar of Hoshinawa was deafening, a storm of voices shaking the mountain air. Yet for Shin, all sound faded into silence. He saw only Raisin. Across the shattered tiles of the arena, the crimson-eyed prodigy stood calm, his aura licking upward like flames made flesh. The final battle is about to begin. The gong had not even fully faded before Raisin moved. With a blur of motion, his fist slammed into Shin's guard. The impact rang like thunder. Pain shot through Shin's arms as the blow forced him back several steps, his heels scraping across stone. His chest burned, his breath already ragged. The difference was immediate. Raisin was stronger, faster, sharper. Every strike carried the weight of iron forged in fire. Shin snapped forward with a counter, his fist glowing faintly gold, the shape of a dragon's maw flickering into life. But Raisin turned his body, his stance flawless. Shin's strike glanced harmlessly away. From the stands, the Iron Fang disciples erupted in triumph. Raisin! 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 The chant rattled the air, a tide of certainty. Before Shin could raise his guard again, Raisin's knee crashed into his ribs. Crack! The air tore from Shin's lungs. His body hurled sideways, bouncing hard across the cracked tiles. Dust filled his throat. He coughed, blood spraying onto the ground.
He's too strong. I can't even slow him down.
Raisin's cruelty. Raisin advanced with terrifying calm. His crimson aura flickered around him, each flame sharp as a blade. He did not rage. He did not gloat. His voice, flat and merciless, carried further than any shout.
"You don't belong here,"
he said.
"You're nothing but a stray, a dog Ryuzen picked up when no one else wanted you."
Shin tried to raise his fists, but he was too late. Raisin's strike snapped against his jaw with brutal force. Blood burst from Shin's lips as his head snapped sideways. He staggered, his knees wobbling. Gasps echoed through the arena. Silver Dragon supporters cried out in fear, while Iron Fang's side roared with savage delight. Raisin's eyes glowed faintly red as he stepped closer. His words cut sharper than his fists.
"Give up now, before I crush you completely."
The Master's voices. At the Master's seats, even the elders shifted uneasily. Master Ryuzen, calm as a stone in a river, finally broke his silence. His voice thundered across the arena, sharp with urgency and uncharacteristic desperation.
"This is not the end, Shin! Stand! This is not where your path ends!"
The Silver Dragon supporters rose together, shouting his name, their voices swelling like a tide of defiance. But across the way, Master Gendo leaned forward. His iron-gray eyes burned with cruel certainty.
"End this, Ryuzen,"
he barked. His voice cracked like thunder.
"Finish him. End this rivalry once and for all."
His words were not encouragement. They were execution. The crowd gasped. Hope and dread clashed in their hearts, leaving silence heavy as iron. The spiral downward. Shin's arms trembled, his ribs screamed with every breath. His knees wobbled beneath him. The crimson blaze before him blurred his vision, swallowing everything. Another punch came, then another. Raisin's fists hammered his body with merciless precision, a strike to the chest, another to the ribs, a third crashing into his cheek. Each impact rang like a bell tolling the death of hope. Shin staggered like a rag doll, his body bent beneath the storm. Finally, a savage kick hurled him across the floor, his cheek pressed against the stone, his body refusing to rise. His arms twitched weakly, his breath came shallow, ragged.
Maybe I was never meant to win. Maybe Raisin's right. I'm just a stray, nothing more.
The crowd's shouts blurred together, voices melting into noise. The world dimmed. The flashback. But then light, a flicker in the darkness. Shin was no longer in the arena. He was small again, an infant wrapped in warmth. Gentle arms held him, a soft blanket pressed to his cheek. Two figures stood above him, their forms obscured by radiant light. Their faces were hidden, yet their voices rang clear. The woman's voice was soft, trembling with love.
He will be our light.
The man's voice followed, firm and unyielding.
His name will be Shin.
The infant laughed, his tiny chest filled with warmth. The sound was joy itself, pure, unbroken, undeniable. That warmth pierced through the broken boy lying on the arena floor. Tears welled in Shin's eyes as the vision faded, but the echo of those words burned within him. The awakening. His lips trembled, his voice was faint but steady.
I am not nothing.
The arena fell silent. Shin pressed his palms against the cracked stone. His arms shook, his ribs screamed, but inch by inch he rose, his back straightened, his eyes sharpened.
I will not give up.
The words boomed across the arena, louder than chants, louder than fear. A golden aura shimmered faintly around him. At first it flickered weakly, then it steadied, burning brighter, sharper. His pupils vanished, his eyes turned pure white, glowing with the radiance of something eternal. Gasps tore through the stands. Elders stood in shock, their voices trembling. Impossible, one whispered. The ground shook as Shin's aura surged. Dust and loose stones lifted into the air, swirling like leaves in a storm. Raisin's crimson blaze still burned stronger, hotter, but the golden light carried defiance that could not be broken. Shin raised his fist. Light shaped itself into the gaping maw of a dragon. The cliffhanger. The crowd split into two storms. Shin! 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 Raisin! 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 For the first time, Raisin's calm cracked. His lips curled into the faintest smirk, his crimson aura erupting higher as if to answer the challenge.
Finally,
He muttered. His fists clenched, his eyes glowed brighter.
now show me what you really are.
Crimson fire and golden flame clashed in the air before either moved. The very ground trembled, cracks spreading beneath their feet. At the heart of the storm, Shin stood tall. His white eyes blazed. The boy once called a stray no longer wavered. The final clash was about to begin. The dragon and the fang. The arena of Hoshinawa was silent for a heartbeat. Then the roar came. Shin! 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 Raisin! 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 The people were on their feet, their chants splitting the heavens. The ground itself trembled beneath the cries of thousands, their voices like waves colliding in a storm. At the center of it all, two warriors stood locked in defiance. Shin's white eyes glowed fiercely, his golden aura flaring brighter with every breath. Across from him, Raisin's crimson aura blazed hotter, coils of scarlet ki swirling like fire-made flesh.
You're still standing.
Raisin muttered, his voice low, dangerous.
Then I'll crush you where you stand.
The opening exchanges. The gong rang. Raisin lunged first, a crimson blur cutting across the battlefield. His fists snapped forward, heavy with killing intent. Shin bent aside, his movements sharper than before. A flash of golden light burst from his fist, his dragon fist catching Raisin square on the jaw. The Iron Fang prodigy staggered back. Crimson sparks flickered as blood trickled at the corner of his lips. The crowd gasped as one. He hit him! Shin pushed Raisin back. Raisin's head lowered, his eyes narrowing with fury. He charged again, fists hammering in a relentless storm. But Shin was no longer the boy who stumbled beneath his blows. He deflected, parried, and answered with precise counters. Golden sparks erupted each time their fists collided, scattering across the shattered stone like fireflies. Strike, block, counter, kick, parry, counter. Their movements blurred, faster than the eye could follow. Each collision split the air, shock waves rumbling like thunder. Shin ascends. As the battle raged, something impossible began to happen. Shin's aura grew brighter. His golden flames climbed higher, wrapping his body like armor. His white eyes blazed like twin suns, cold yet radiant. His every step grew steadier, his every strike heavier. With every breath, he became stronger. With every clash, his movements grew sharper. From the stands, someone gasped, He's growing stronger during the fight. Murmurs rippled through the crowd, all mixing with fear. Raisin gritted his teeth, his crimson aura flaring hotter. But Shin pressed forward, his fists blazing like a dragon unchained. One strike hammered into Raisin's ribs, another cracked against his cheek. A third forced his guard wide, blood sprayed. Raisin staggered. For the first time, the crimson prodigy looked shaken. Raisin's fury.
Enough.
Raisin roared, his aura erupting violently. Crimson flames lashed outward, the tiles beneath his feet cracking, glowing red-hot. From the master's seats, Gendo rose. His voice was thunder.
End this, Raisin. Show him the true fangs of Iron Fang Dojo.
Raisin's ki surged, condensing into a monstrous form. Crimson light coiled into the shape of a giant beast, fangs bared, its maw snapping around his arm. The air rippled with heat, distorting the very space.
Crimson Fang strike,
he bellowed. His body blurred forward, a predator closing in for the kill. Shin's answer. Shin's chest rose and fell. His body ached, but his spirit did not falter. His golden aura roared higher, brighter, as if answering the challenge. Light flared around his arm, shaping into a dragon larger and more radiant than before. Its roar echoed across the battlefield.
Dragon Fist!
He charged. The crimson fangs snapped. The golden dragon roared. The final collision. The world exploded. Light devoured the arena. Shockwaves split the sky. Stone tiles shattered and launched into the air, dust and debris spiraling like a storm. Spectators shielded their faces as the blast rattled the walls of the city. Masters raised their arms to protect their disciples from the rolling force. For a heartbeat, all sound vanished. The world was nothing but blinding light. Then the dust began to fall, standing and collapse. At the center of the devastation, Shin still stood. His chest rose and fell, heavy but steady. His golden aura flickered faint yet alive. His white eyes glowed dimly, but his body refused to bow. Across from him, Raisin lay in the rubble, his crimson aura extinguished. His arms trembled as he tried to rise, but his strength was gone. Elder Kuroda's voice rang clear, beginning the count.
1, 2, 3.
The Silver Dragon's side of the stands erupted. Shin! 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 Raisin's disciples screamed his name desperately. 7. Shin swayed, his body giving way. His knees buckled. With a heavy thud, he collapsed beside Raisin. The crowd gasped. Elder Kuroda paused, then slammed his staff against the stone.
Reset the count. Begin again. 1, 2, 3.
Both warriors stirred, groaning. Both clawed at the ground, dragging their battered bodies upward. But when the count reached 10, neither could stand. The draw.
10, out.
Elder Kuroda declared, his voice echoing like judgment.
The final match ends in a draw.
The arena erupted into chaos. Half roared Shin's name, half screamed for Raisin, all united in awe. Neither had lost. Neither had won. They had broken each other on the anvil of destiny. At the master's seats, Ryuzen closed his eyes, pride glimmering faintly.
You've done enough, Shin. Far more than enough.
Across from him, Gendo's face twisted with fury, but behind his clenched jaw flickered something more dangerous, a gleam of hunger.
This power, it's not normal. Raisin will need more.
Aftermath. Healers rushed forward, lifting both boys onto stretchers. The arena quieted, voices dropping to whispers as the two champions were carried away. 10 long minutes passed before they stirred, groaning back into consciousness. When Shin's eyes opened, his aura was gone, but his spirit still burned. When Raisin's gaze lifted, it was not defeat that filled his crimson eyes, but challenge. Finally, Elder Kuroda raised his staff once more. The crowd hushed instantly.
This tournament was not only for glory,
He declared.
Its true purpose was to seek out those strong enough to walk beyond Hoshinawa, to carry our banner into the greater martial world.
Gasps spread like fire through the stands.
In 4 years' time, the pre-qualification tournament shall be held. Fighters from every province will gather. Those who endure shall step into the Grand City tournament 1 year after that. Beyond it waits the path to immortality.
His voice rang like a bell across the broken arena.
And so, the chosen 4 of Hoshinawa are these: Shin of Silver Dragon, Raisin of Iron Fang, Taro of Silver Dragon, and Kenta of Iron Fang. Train well, for in 5 years the true battlefield shall await you.
The arena erupted in thunderous cheers, the voices of thousands echoing into the heavens like destiny itself. The chosen 4. The ceremony. The dawn after the final clash broke soft and pale over Hoshinawa. The streets were quieter than usual, though everywhere carried the whispers of yesterday's battle. The people still spoke of golden dragons and crimson fangs, of light that shook the heavens, and a storm that nearly tore the arena apart. Though the tiles were cracked and dust still lingered in the corners, the arena once again filled with people. Today, no fists would clash, no key would thunder. Today was for remembrance, honor, and reward. At the center of the arena stood Elder Kuroda, staff planted firmly in the ground. The 8 masters lined at his side, their disciples gathered in rows behind them. Kuroda's voice rose, clear and commanding, cutting through the hush.
Yesterday,
He declared,
we witnessed strength, spirit, and will, unlike any seen in decades. Though the final match ended in a draw, its meaning is clear. The spirit of Hoshinawa burns brighter than ever.
The crowd roared, clapping and stamping their feet until the cracked tiles shook again. Kuroda lifted his hand, quieting them.
As promised, 4 shall be honored. Each chosen disciple will claim 1 scroll from the Vault of Echoes. Within these scrolls lie techniques, philosophies, and legacies of warriors who carved their names into eternity. Choose wisely, for what you take will shape your path forever.
The vault opened. Rows of ancient scrolls gleamed softly in the morning light. One by one, the chosen four stepped forward. Taro bounded up first, his grin wide despite his bruises. He snatched a scroll titled Blazing Wolf Form and pumped his fist.
This one's mine! All offense, all power, perfect for me!
The crowd laughed warmly at his energy. Next, Kenta strode forward, calm and hulking, his shadow long. His hand fell on a scroll of raw body refinement. He lifted it slowly, his eyes glinting.
Iron Body Manual. Fitting.
Then came Ryzen. He said nothing. His gaze was sharp, his body still stiff from the clash with Shin. He reached into the vault and took a scroll bound in crimson thread. Blood. Fang Kata. The air seemed to ripple faintly as he tucked it beneath his arm. Finally, Shin stepped forward. Bandages were still wrapped around his torso, and each step was slow. Whispers rippled through the crowd. He had collapsed, yet he was here. He looked at the dozens of scrolls. Some were gilded, others wrapped in colored seals. Yet his eyes kept returning to a simple, unmarked scroll. It was plain, almost ordinary. But as his fingers brushed it, he felt warmth, like a steady heartbeat pulsing within.
This one,
Shin whispered. Elder Kuroda's eyes softened, and for the first time that day, his stern face bore approval.
The Silent Dragon Manual. Few understand its depths, but those who do reshape the very flow of battle.
The crowd erupted in cheers, banners waving in the morning breeze. Thus, the chosen four received their legacies. Recovery in the dojo. But the truth was this: Shin's body was far from ready to stand tall. After the ceremony, he was carried back to the Silver Dragon Dojo, where he lay on a futon for 3 days. His body refused to move, weighed down by exhaustion and bruises that covered him head to toe. His chest rose shallowly, each breath a struggle between pain and will. Taro visited every day, often dozing off against the wall with his scroll clutched protectively, as though someone might steal it in the night. Mika slipped in with bowls of porridge, scolding him even in sleep.
Idiot brother, don't scare us like that again.
On the third night, Shin's eyes finally opened fully. The ceiling beams blurred above him, then sharpened into view. The faint smell of herbs clung to the air. Slowly, painfully, he turned his head. Beside him, Taro snored, his head against the wall. The sliding door creaked. Master Ryuzen entered quietly, carrying a tray with tea. His silver hair shimmered in the lantern light. He knelt beside Shin, setting the tray down, his expression calm but not without warmth.
You're awake.
Ryuzen said softly.
How do you feel?
Shin swallowed, his voice dry.
tired, but alive.
His brows furrowed.
Master, yesterday when I fought Raisin, my body felt different. My eyes, my aura. I don't remember clearly. It's like I was someone else.
Ryuzen studied him for a long, thoughtful silence. Then he placed a hand, heavy but steady, on Shin's shoulder.
Power sometimes reveals itself before we are ready to bear it. What you felt was not another. It was you, a part of you, that sleeps deep inside.
Shin's hands tightened on the blanket.
Then why can't I remember?
Because it was instinct, not control.
Ryuzen answered. His voice was calm, yet edged with warning.
That is why you must not chase it blindly. Power gained without balance consumes its wielder. Be patient, Shin. Walk steadily. The dragon's spirit is not in how loud it roars, but in how long it endures.
Shin closed his eyes. Slowly the words sank deep into him, settling like embers that refuse to fade.
Yes, Master. I will endure.
Ryuzen's lips curved into the faintest smile.
Good. That is enough for now.
Iron Fang Aftermath. Across town, the Iron Fang Dojo was a world of silence. Reisen and Kenta knelt before their master. Gendo's gaze was sharp, colder than steel. His voice lashed like thunder.
You brought shame upon my dojo,
he said.
A draw against Ryuzen's strays. Unacceptable.
Kenta's jaw tightened.
We fought with everything we had.
Silence.
Gendo's bark cracked like a whip.
Excuses are for the weak.
Reisen lifted his gaze. His crimson eyes, dimmed but unyielding, locked onto his master.
It won't happen again. Next time, I'll crush him.
For a long moment, Gendo said nothing. Then he turned, dismissing them with a flick of his hand.
Leave me.
The disciples bowed and departed. Only when the doors closed did Gendo's expression shift. He strode to a hidden chest and drew out a dust-covered scroll, bound in black seals. His fingers traced the markings as though caressing a blade.
This power,
he whispered.
Only with it will Ryzen surpass that boy. Only with it will Iron Fang reclaim dominance.
His eyes gleamed with a dangerous light.
Ryzen, you will master this, even if it consumes you.
Closing. Back at the Silver Dragon Dojo, the night deepened. Shin drifted into another sleep, his hand resting lightly on the unmarked scroll at his side. Ryuzen sat nearby, silent as a mountain, watching the boy's chest rise and fall. The path ahead was uncertain, treacherous. But one truth remained. The storm inside Shin had only begun to stir. And across town, in the shadows of Iron Fang Dojo, another storm gathered. One born not of patience, but of hunger. The future of Hoshinawa would be carved by both. Echoes of victory. The clash between Shin and Reisen had ended weeks ago, yet its echoes still lingered in Hoshinawa. Everywhere Shin walked, whispers followed. Some called him a prodigy destined to surpass all masters. Others muttered that he was cursed, a boy born with eyes not meant for mortals. Respect and fear tangled together, shaping every step he took. Recovery. One morning, sunlight slipped through the wooden shutters of the Silver Dragon Dojo, warm beams cutting across Shin's face. He stirred, slowly pushing himself upright. His body still carried the ache of the final battle, bruises fading, ribs stiff, muscles sore. But his spirit had not broken. When he stepped into the courtyard, the air grew heavy. Disciples paused mid-strike, bamboo swords frozen in the air. Some bowed respectfully, eyes wide with admiration. Others turned their backs, muttering under their breath. He's the boy who fought Reisen to a draw. Or the freak with those white eyes. Shin's expression did not change. His steps were steady, his gaze calm. Taro rushed over, a grin wide on his face.
Finally! You're up and moving without groaning like an old man!
He slapped Shin on the back, making him wince.
You nearly gave me a heart attack back there, you know.
Shin opened his mouth, but Mika appeared first, carrying a wooden pail of water. Her voice was gentle, but stern.
Don't push yourself too hard, Shin. You've already done more than enough.
Worry softened her words. Taro smirked, leaning close.
Careful, Shin. Mika sounds like a worried wife.
Both Shin and Mika flushed red. Shin fumbled for words while Mika hurled the wooden ladle at Taro's head. He ducked with a laugh and the courtyard filled with chuckles. For a moment, the heaviness in the air lifted. Struggles with the aura. That evening, Shin sat cross-legged on the polished floor of the dojo's great hall. Master Ruzen stood before him, arms folded, silver hair glinting in the lantern light.
Focus inward,
The master said, voice calm and steady.
Feel for the spark you touched in the arena. Draw it out.
Shin closed his eyes. He breathed slowly, letting silence wrap around him. He reached deep, searching for the memory, the golden aura, the burning white eyes, the power that had roared like a dragon inside him. But there was nothing. Minutes passed. His breaths grew heavier. Sweat beaded along his brow. He clenched his fists, straining, trying to force something, anything, to answer his call. Still, nothing. At last, Shin opened his eyes. Frustration flickered across his face.
It's gone, Master. No matter how hard I try, the aura won't appear.
Ryuzen stroked his beard, gaze thoughtful. His expression was unreadable, but his silence weighed more heavily than words. Finally, he spoke, his voice low.
Then it is not a flame that can be forced. Perhaps.
He paused, eyes narrowing slightly.
Perhaps this power lies beyond me.
Shin lowered his gaze. The words were not meant as a rebuke, but they stung all the same. Respect and hatred. Days turned into weeks. Shin healed, trained, and sparred with the other disciples. Some approached eagerly, asking him for advice. How do you steady your guard? What did it feel like facing Raisin? They treated him as if he were already a master in his own right. Others spat words of scorn when they thought no master was near. You should have lost. You're dangerous. You don't belong here. Shin received both praise and hatred with the same quiet calm. He neither puffed his chest nor lowered his head. He simply kept moving, his silence cutting sharper than any insult. Bonds in the dojo. Through it all, Taro stayed at his side. He sparred with Shin relentlessly, boasting loudly even when Shin knocked him down. Mika often lingered nearby, offering small smiles or sharing meals with them after long evenings of training. Kenji, ever the complainer, became the heart of their late-night talks. He sighed dramatically about his endless chores.
Do you know how heavy these scrolls are? Ryuzen makes me carry them all day. And if we meet enemies stronger than Raisin, I'll let you three handle it while I cheer from the sidelines.
The others laughed, though they knew Kenji's words were half-truths. For when hot-headed disciples from another dojo tried mocking Shin one afternoon, it was Kenji who stepped in first, fists clenched. His blows were sharp, practiced. He drove them back before Shin could even rise. Shin smiled faintly at the sight. Kenji might whine, but beneath his grumbling lay steel. 5 months later. Seasons turned. Leaves fell from the mountainsides and the air grew sharp with winter's bite. By then, Shin's wounds had healed fully, his body stronger than before. Yet the aura remained locked away. No golden flame, no white eyes, only silence when he reached for it. His question remained unanswered.
What is this power inside me?
Still, his days were not wasted. He sparred with Taro, testing limits. He listened to Mika's laughter, finding warmth in her presence. He endured Kenji's complaints, knowing beneath them was loyalty. 5 months passed and the bonds between them deepened. Ryuzen's command. One evening, the dojo's great bell rang, summoning all three into the great hall. The firelight flickered across the wooden beams as Master Ryuzen waited for them. His eyes were sharper than ever.
You three have grown,
he said slowly. His voice carried both weight and warmth.
But Shin's path lies beyond what I can teach.
The words froze them in place.
Next week,
Ryuzen continued.
you will leave this dojo. There is a master beyond this town, a man I trust. He alone may guide Shin toward awakening his true strength. You will train under him.
Shin's chest tightened. The weight of destiny pressed heavy. Taro's grin faded into a serious nod. He clenched his fists, determination lighting his face. Kenji paled, his voice breaking.
Out there, on the roads again? Bandits, storms, monsters. Master, are you trying to kill me?
Taro elbowed him, snickering. Shin almost laughed, though the gravity of Ryuzen's words anchored his heart. But Ryuzen's eyes never wavered.
Prepare yourselves. The road ahead will test not only your strength, but your very spirit.
The hall fell into silence. Shin stood still, his mind racing. Taro's jaw tightened. Kenji groaned but did not argue further. Their next journey had already begun. Whispers in the shadows. The morning sun crept gently through the high windows of Silver Dragon Dojo, spilling golden light across the polished tatami floor. The air inside the great hall was calm, but within Master Ryuzen's heart, there was no peace. He sat cross-legged in meditation, breaths measured, presence unshakable. To anyone passing by, he was an unmoving mountain, but his thoughts turned like hidden storms.
Those eyes, that power.
He remembered the arena, Shin's pupils vanishing, the white blaze, the golden aura like a dragon roused from ages of sleep. It had stirred awe and fear, even in Ryuzen. At last he opened his eyes, resolve set there, sharp and final.
It is decided,
he murmured.
They will not wait another week. Tomorrow at dawn, Shin, Taro, and Kenji will depart. The road is long, and destiny will not slow for us. The boy's path leads beyond these walls.
He called for his assistant.
Prepare travel packs,
he said.
Food, blankets, spare robes, thread and salve. They leave at first light.
The assistant bowed. Yes, master. And with that, the course of 3 young lives shifted. The dojo prepares. By midday, whispers threaded every corridor. The boy with the white eyes is leaving. Master Ryuzen sends him away. He goes with Taro and Kenji tomorrow. In the training yard, bamboo swords slowed as gossip passed like wind. Some disciples spoke with admiration. He fought Raisin to a draw. He'll return stronger. Others muttered with relief. He's cursed. Let the world deal with him, not us. Shin heard the voices but gave them no weight. He folded his GI carefully, the cloth crisp beneath his fingers, and set it into a neat bundle. Across the room, Taro hummed as he packed. Dried meat, rice balls, a small jar of pickled radish he had liberated from the kitchen.
Big trip ahead,
Taro said with a grin.
Maybe beautiful women, maybe treasure, maybe trouble. Probably all 3.
Probably all 3.
Shin echoed, tying his pack closed. The door slid open with a bang. Kenji strode in, eyes wide, voice already rising.
Tomorrow? As in tomorrow morning. You can't spring this on a man with knees like mine.
Taro nearly dropped his satchel, laughing.
Relax, Kenji.
Kenji cut him off with a sharp glare.
Don't relax me. I'm Master Ryuzen's assistant. That means I watch over you too. You're my responsibility. If you come back in pieces, it's my head he'll take first.
Taro blinked, then smirked.
So you do care?
I care about not being executed for your stupidity,
Kenji snapped, though the edge softened at the corners of his mouth.
I'll complain, sure, but I'm bringing you both back safely. That's the job.
Shin's eyes warmed.
Thank you, Kenji.
Kenji huffed and looked away. A soft voice came from the doorway.
Then start by carrying this.
Mika stood there, arms folded, a sly smile tugging at her lips. She handed Kenji a bulky pack stuffed with rice, blankets, small tools, and a flint kit. Kenji staggered under the weight, straightened, and muttered,
"This dojo will be the end of me."
before hitching the pack higher with a resigned grunt. Taro laughed again. Shin allowed himself the smallest smile. Mika's gaze shifted to Shin, worry hidden beneath calm.
Be careful.
She said quietly.
The world beyond Hoshinawa isn't forgiving.
Shin gave a small nod.
I will.
A memory of October 1st. That evening, as the lanterns glowed and the halls settled into hush, Shin lay awake, watching the ceiling beams. Tomorrow they would go. The road would open and not look back. His fingers slipped beneath his pillow and closed around a small shape. A wooden charm, a dragon curled into a circle. October 1st, his birthday, 12 years old. It had been only days ago, but it already felt distant, like a warm room glimpsed from a winter road. Mika had carved the charm herself, rough in places but carefully shaped. She had pressed it into his palm, her cheeks pink.
It's not perfect,
she whispered.
but it will protect you.
Taro had shoved a leaf-wrapped bundle at him, grin wide.
Sweet rice cakes, and if you eat them without me, I'll fight you on the spot.
Kenji had tossed a small scroll at him with his usual scowl.
My training drills. If you ever forget how to block properly, learn from me for once.
And finally, Ryuzen had rested a heavy hand on his shoulder. His voice had been softer than Shin had ever heard.
12,
he said.
Still a boy, yet walking a path few men could endure. Remember, even dragons must crawl before they soar.
Now, in the quiet, Shin held the charm against his chest. He breathed deeply, steadying himself.
October 1st,
he whispered.
I'll make it matter.
The departure. Dawn arrived with silver mist. The dojo assembled at the gates, breath fogging in the cold. Red leaves skittered across stones, caught and carried by mountain wind. Shin, Taro, and Kenji stood shoulder to shoulder, packs ready, faces set. Ryuzen faced them, his presence firm as stone. His eyes moved from one to the next, pride and worry tempered into iron.
The road ahead will test your bodies, your wills, and your very spirits,
he said.
Do not falter. Trust one another. Grow together. That is my command.
Shin bowed deeply.
Yes, master.
Taro clenched a fist, grin bright as flame.
We won't let you down.
Kenji lifted his burden higher and sniffed.
If they get themselves killed, I'll drag their ghosts back so you can scold them properly.
A ripple of laughter moved through the crowd. Even Ryuzen's mouth twitched. The great gates creaked open. Beyond, the wide dirt road, the dark press of forest, the pale ribs of distant mountains. The world waiting. Villagers lined the roadside. Some offered blessings in low voices. Others turned away, resentment buried like knives. Shin stepped first. The dragon charm thumped lightly against his chest as he walked. Taro matched his stride with careless swagger. Kenji brought up the rear, muttering about maps, weather, and idiots who forgot to pack extra socks. The gates closed behind them. The road took them. Whispers in the halls. After they were gone, the dojo did not return to quiet. Whispers clung to the beams and corridors. He will come back a monster. He will come back a hero. He will not come back at all. Ryuzen sat alone in the great hall, hands folded, eyes closed. He listened to silence until it settled inside him like a stone at the bottom of a river. Then he rose and began to sweep the floor. In the shadows of Iron Fang. Far away in the crowded heart of Hoshinawa, a hooded figure slipped through market noise like a knife through silk. He passed merchants, guards, and gossiping elders, then vanished into a narrow lane that led toward tall, iron-tipped gates. Iron Fang Dojo loomed ahead, severe and cold. Inside, torchlight smoked against the stone. The spy knelt low and pressed his brow to the floor. "My lord," he whispered, "the stray and his companions have departed. They are beyond Ryuzen's walls." Silence answered him first, sharp enough to cut. Then footsteps, slow, certain. Master Gendo rose from the shadows as if he had been carved from them. His hands settled behind his back. His gray eyes gleamed like knives. "Shall I gather men?" the spy asked quickly, hope and hunger braided in his voice. "We could end them now. No one would know." Gendo's smirk was a small, cruel thing.
No.
The word landed like iron.
Let the boy walk his path,
he said, voice smooth as cold steel.
If fate grants him strength, let him seize it. For when Raisin and Kenta stand before him again, they will not simply defeat him.
He leaned closer, the smirk tightening.
They will crush him utterly.
The spy swallowed. "As you command."
Keep watch,
Gendo said.
But do not act without my word.
The hooded figure rose, retreated, and was gone, as if the shadows themselves had opened to swallow him. Gendo stood alone for a moment longer, listening to the torch hiss. Then he turned away, already imagining the next clash, already sharpening it in his mind like a blade. The world beyond Hoshinawa stretched wide and merciless, and while three young travelers set their feet upon it, unseen eyes had already begun to follow. End of Act 1. Act 1 ends here. The storm has begun, the dragon has stirred, and the road ahead will change everything. If you felt the tension, the battles, the rise of something greater, now is the time to show it. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're ready for what comes next, comment below. Next arc. The upcoming arc will be darker, more intense, more dangerous, but it will only begin once we reach 10+ comments requesting it. If the call is strong enough, the next chapter begins immediately. If not, the journey resumes in 2 weeks. The choice is yours, and before you go, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the continuation of the audio series. The next arc won't just raise the stakes, it will ignite them.